we want to turn to our crack Supreme Court reporter. This is the man we always turn to, Greg Stohr in Washington. So, Greg, I don't think this was entirely a surprise that it came down this way, but it is potentially a momentous decision.
Oh, it's certainly a momentous decision, unquestionably the biggest Second Amendment ruling in more than a decade from this court, which had been a little reluctant to wade back into the issue until those three Trump appointees shored up the conservative wing of the court. It extends the Second Amendment beyond the home, which is where the court had said previously it applies, and it says that even when you are out in public, there are strong constitutional protections and limits to what the government can say about what weapons you carry.
So, Greg, one of the things I wonder about, and again, this is early going, we have now a statement from the White House actually quoting Justice Scalia, no doubt from the Heller opinion, which first held that there was an individual right under the Second Amendment. That was not decided until about 10 years ago. But given where the Supreme Court is today, is there anything left for gun regulation? Because as I recall in Heller, they said, sure, you can regulate them.
Yeah, there are certainly other areas, and Justice Thomas did mention that passage in Justice Scalia's opinion. One thing to look at closely is Justice Kavanaugh's concurring opinion, which Chief Justice Roberts joined. And among other things, Justice Kavanaugh said, hey, it's entirely permissible for, or at least we're not saying anything about, a state that requires somebody to get a permit to carry a weapon in public. Those laws are still okay. And he also suggested that there are other areas of gun regulation that states and local governments could engage in. One area we're still going to have to fight over are these so-called sensitive areas. The Supreme Court, in the Heller decision, Justice Scalia's opinion, said that there are some areas like courthouses and schools where the government can say, no, you can't bring a weapon in here. How broad those sensitive areas are, whether they include, for example, football stadiums, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, as I understand it, this opinion specifically carved out that sensitive area and mentioned schools and government buildings, but rejected Manhattan. As I understand it, one of the arguments was, given the level of gun violence in Manhattan, we should consider all of Manhattan a sensitive area. The Supreme Court would have none of it.
Yeah, Justice Thomas clearly said you can't say that all of Manhattan is a sensitive area, but it leaves open, what about one example that came up in the argument, what about Times Square on New Year's Eve? That was an issue that Justice Barrett raised in the argument, wondering whether New York could bar handguns there. That's something we still don't know about.